So now we're going to talk about the all-important function of saving our R scripts, which is another reason why R scripts are so important and so commonly used. So with the R console down here, if we were to type everything that we did up here in the R script, but down here in the console, when we close out R, it's going to delete all of those things. So all of our hard work is going to go away, all our calculations are going to go away, and we're sort of stuck with, having to write that code again. But what's really nice about R scripts, as I mentioned earlier, it's sort of a mix between the console and Word documents. And as such, we're able to save the R script like it was a Word document. So up here, you'll notice that it says Untitled 1, and there's a little asterisk here. Well, that means that we haven't saved this yet. So what we can do is go ahead and give it a meaningful name, and then we can load it again when we would like. So let's come up here to the top left, hit File, and just like a Word document, we can do Save As. And so I'm just going to put this in Downloads, and I'm going to do commenting RScript, and just go ahead and save that. And we see that the name changes here to commenting RScript, like we just sort of did. And then it adds on this .r at the end, which means that this is an RScript file, and we can load those and share those and things along those lines. So just like any other file, you can email this to folks and things along those lines. And so now when I close out and I want to open it back up again, first it'll appear here as the most recent R script that we did, but we can also go ahead and just click the button. This whole window will pop up, and then we can go ahead and reload it, and it pops back up right there. So every time I make a change here, so I just added this, we'll comment this here, you notice that the asterisk pops back up, and that means that it hasn't been saved since the last time it was loaded. So what we can do here is go ahead and click this Save Current Document. That will save it. If we make another change here, so as we just did, the asterisk popped up again, we could do Command S. That will go ahead and save it, and so forth. So lots of different ways to go ahead and save. So the last thing I want to show you how to do is source on save. And so all this does is it's going to generate one line of code after we save each time in the console. And I'll show you what you can do with that line. It's very helpful. So let's say source on save. I'm going to go ahead and hit save up here, and it generates this line, which it's called source, and then it has sort of the path to this R file in my directories. Well, how is this helpful? Well, say we did this long R script to generate particular variables. So let me clear this over here and just do test1 equals test2 equals. When I go through and run these variables here, well, they're saved. So test1 is 4, test2 is just this vector over here. But when we go ahead and save this, it's going to generate this code. We can use this R file to generate these two variables in another R script. So let's say we open up a new R script, put this command here, source, for this, and then go ahead and save this with a new name. Well, test for source, we'll do that. Well, if we started a new session, or we were doing a new run of all of our files and data and things along those lines, and we wanted to say run this R script first and then do something afterwards, so say test1 times 2, well, we can go ahead and first source this and then do something with the variables that are produced. So right now the environment is empty, but if we run everything, notice that first it sources commenting from R. So we create these two new variables over here, And then we're able to manipulate that variable test1 times 2 in this new file, even though we never defined test1 or test2 anywhere else. So again, if we get rid of that, the environment's empty, we can run this whole script again, and it creates these two variables from running, commenting RScript, and then we can do something with the variables. So it's very helpful for sort of building up a series of different RScripts to create a pretty complicated series of analyses. So highly recommend doing source on save to generate that line of code and use it in your projects.